ViBe has looked so good lately, but he's also been playing a lot of Diablo, which is the only reason that I wouldn't like snap call ViBe.
Yeah.
But I do still think that the Zerg player is going to come out on top here. I think ViBe takes this series.
I was really struggling with that thought too, since I know how active ViBe has been playing, and then again he's been streaming a lot of Diablo as well, so yeah, that kind of gives it away. It's not really a secret, but still, Ben, it's ZVP. Axslav did manage to beat TLO at the start of the season. After that he had a very rough path in the NASL. He didn't win a single series anymore. Axslav is currently 1-5 and ViBe is 2 wins and 4 losses. It's a hard call, but I think that ViBe is going to take it as well, Ben. I cannot afford to let you go 1 more point up.
just match my predictions for the rest of the season?
No. But this is not the one where I have to strike.
Fair enough. We've got cross spawn on Antigua, as we always have, Kev. This is, of course, how the NASL version of the map is set up. The NASL version also has fewer mineral patches in the middle and no gold bases. Looks like Axslav wants to be fast expanding.
Yep, no surprise there, of course. We're going to keep a close eye on how he's going to do that. This is a map where you often like to get Forge before next deal. Certainly right now when you see it's going to be 14 spawning pool, because it's hard to get a proper wall off over here. His Forge might be a little bit late though. We might actually not go Forge at all, might just go Nexus first. One more Chrono Boost going down on the Nexus. I don't think it's a super big deal because he still has this probe over here, so he's probably going to try to block the hatcheries over here. But I kind of wonder, man, what happens when ViBe is just like, alright, enjoy blocking my partners, I'm sending over my first 6 links.
Well, if those lings get in, it's huge damage. But if the natural doesn't get taken, then it's just as bad for the Zerg player. We'll see exactly how it plays out. I wanted to ask you, Kev. We're not seeing it here. Axslav is going to go for the Forge, but we discussed this with Nani some that in this metagame of gasless fast expand for Zerg players, Naniwa feels like you need to be going gateway first and putting on stalker pressure. Have you given any thought or played around with that at all since he visited?
I haven't really played with it, but I do think it makes some sense because I feel the way that the metagame has evolved, it still plays out better for Zergs. If you go Forge expand against the 3-base Zerg, Zerg is just going to come out ahead most of the time, unless you make something happen, or if you just want to try to win on 2-base all-in. 2-base all-ins are always strong, but if you want to fall back to something else and you just want to have a sort of even economy, that's probably sort of in the direction that we're going to have to think. But I don't know, Ben, it's hard and it depends so much on the map. I think Antigua is a very big map, so look at the timing, by the way, Ben, of those 2 hatcheries. 3:55, both hatches are going down.
Yeah, one of the fastest 3 bases that is possible, maybe the fastest possible, unless you were to cut drones on like 12.
If it's going to get any quicker than this, Ben, I'm just going to scream.
Time to change races?
Yes. If it ever goes down to 3:30, I'm going to play Zerg, that's it.
Axslav knows what he's up against and should be able to prepare accordingly.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the idea a lot, and I think on a map like dual side ban, that's definitely good. That's why Zergs are often a little bit more hesitant about taking those 3 bases really quick on dual side straight away, because it's just a little bit harder. But Antigua is pretty big, and if Protoss opens up with 2-3 Stalkers, and all you do is force some links, but then you get surrounded, then you're gonna end up losing your Stalkers, it's still not that good. And even forcing Zerg to make some units early on is really not that big of a deal as if Zerg already is on 3 hatcheries, because they're gonna have plenty of larvae anyway. Larvae is the last thing they have to worry about. This is not the same game as we were playing back in the days on Steps of War, where we made some zealots, and then if Zerg was making links, they couldn't do anything else. No, Ben, they have a lot of larvae these days.
And they have a lot more time to figure out what they want to do with it, Kev, because those maps have gotten so much bigger. Axslav is going to go ahead and poke out with his first zealot, and ViBe's going to have no choice but to back off. Those 3 lings will not get that job done. Really eager to see how Axslav follows this up, Kev. He's nothing out of the ordinary yet. He's building just the single sentry, and lings look like they might want to poke in. But they're not going to see anything. There's no upgrade spinning on that Forge, so maybe that's a small tell. And there we go. Robo does go down.
That's crazy, Ben. 1-gauge Robo. Do you think we might see some Immortal pushes coming out of Axslav, or maybe he wants to do something with a War Prism?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, like you said, Antigua is a pretty long map cross-spawn, so... I mean, the Immortal pushes are strong on just about every map, but the bigger it gets, the longer Zerg can prepare, and the more likely he is to have the adequate amount of units to deal with it. So we'll see if that's what Axslav tries to do. He might just try to go for some kind of... hell, I don't know. I kind of want to say that he might try to drop some sentries, because he's
taking both his simulators in the natural as well. Maybe it's just going to be a big sentry push. We'll see. He's already researching +1. We see the Overlord sacrifice right now from ViBe, and ViBe is going to spot this robotics facility now. That's not a huge help, but it does help a little bit. And look at ViBe, he's even sacrificing double Overlord. But man, he already saw everything that there is possibly to be seen.
Throws down that Evo chamber and the Roach Warren. He scouted that Robo very, very fast. I would not have minded at all if he had just gone straight up to lair in preparation for maybe some mutas. He does go ahead and start that lair. And I think when you scout this Robo this early, Spire Tech is not a bad choice, but we'll see if ViBe chooses that or chooses to do something else.
No, I don't think it's a bad choice either. I would even say the opposite. The big problem is you can only build spine crawlers at one base, so it's going to be very tough to keep both bases very, very safe. Like build spine crawlers over here and build spine crawlers over here, unless you want to create a really big wall here, but you still have to worry about these backdoor rocks. So I don't know. Most Zergs feel more comfortable by avoiding the mutas, which is kind of funny because it feels like yesterday that the entire world was complaining about mutalist.
Yeah, and there wasn't really any big changes to impact the metagame. I mean, the Phoenix upgrade was patched into the game, but we very seldom see that, even against mutas.
Yep, I definitely don't think that was a change. It's just Protoss players got a lot better with it, and I think we also kind of realized once more how extremely important Storm is against Mutalisk. You're not just going to deal with it with a couple of cannons. No, you need a high Templar at every base. That helps out so much more than 5 cannons can ever do. We see Blinks being researched right now for Axslav. +1 is already ready, so I'm curious to see if he's going to get +2. He is sending out a probe though, Ben, and he's already he already dropped the next over here. I wasn't paying attention to the minimap. ViBe is going to scout it straight away, but there are quite some sentries. And this is a relatively quick expand, but it's not going to be super quick.
Those lings are scary already.
It's a lot of lings.
Has got to be careful. Force fields are
very good.
Good enough, yeah.
Very good.
Getting most of the lings actually getting stuck outside of that third base, so this Nexus will probably be able to finish. ViBe's producing a lot of roaches though. It looks like his approach to this fast third is to crush it.
Yep, there's always 2 ways to go at it. Either you ignore it, maybe small Zergling run by. Oh, beautiful warp in by Axslav. Man, that's so huge. Because you do not want to deal with those lings.
If that Zealot spawns just an inch forward or an inch back, those lings will be able to slip by, but Axslav hit it just right, so he does not have to worry about that run by. Here come those first roaches, Kev. And
ViBe is doing this off 62 drones, Ben, and I think that's okay. That's a lot better than 55 or 53, but I would also love to see just like from 68 or 70, because then I also feel you have something to fall back on. Now I still think it's going to be pretty hard. If ViBe is not going to be able to crush this base, I think he's going to be in quite some trouble.
And he's going to have a hard time. I mean, he's opening up these rocks, so we will have 2 avenues of attack. Axslav knows what's coming. He's producing Immortals. Ooh, a Spire does go down, so ViBe might be thinking about a switch into mutas a little bit later.
There are so many force fields, Ben. I think ViBe's going to have to be careful, because with those 2 Immortals as well, you do not want to get force fielded off. ViBe is still going to try to make something happen. If we look at the minimap, and a lot of units are streaming in, Axe is going to have to split up his units a little bit.
Yep, so far no real damage taken, but ViBe is really forcing Axslav to split up. And here we go, Roach is getting way, way up close to these sentries and these Immortals. The sentries are just going to die. Those force fields on the low ground are okay, but the Immortals taking huge, huge amounts of damage. One Immortal's going to fall.
Oh, if both Immortals fall, Ben, I think this is going to be very tricky, and they do. We do have a couple of Blink Stalkers, but I don't think this is going to be enough for Axslav. He might be able to survive, but he's losing so many important, expensive units.
Yeah, he's trying to micro as well as he can, and like you said, he may actually clean this up.
Well, actually, yeah.
But the cost is still pretty high. Or is it? It's 90 supply to 100. But we're going to see mutas now.
And we're going to see a lot of Zerglings streaming, Ben. And all the sentries died already. I'm not sure if this is enough Zerglings, but it's a lot of them at least.
Axslav does have Blink, so he can micro against it. ViBe right now with about 700 gas.
Oh, big run by, big run.
Once more, Axslav able to warp in and close that gap.
So yeah, that muta switch, that's a muta switch we haven't seen for a while. I still remember the first time we saw this, Ben, back then at the Intox Stream Masters in New York. We saw Fruit Dealer and Dongregu do this, and we kind of wondered if they were serious or just trolling around. But for a while, this was kind of a very popular move, and now it kind of faded away again.
Yeah, it's and I really don't know why. Maybe because Protoss players have been getting a faster blink, but it's still very strong, especially when you can have an earlier fight where you kill some Stalkers or some Immortals or what have you. ViBe still poking around the outside of Axslav's natural. Those mutas have not crossed the center of the map just yet. In the midst of all this, ViBe did take a 4th base. I've got to say he's playing a great sort of macro style here.
Yeah, I like this fort has as well on the left top side. That's really good. And he's been making quite a few drones as well. He made 5 Mutalisks, then he went back to droning again. I really think his life would have been so much easier if he also took out that other Immortal, but it was just hard. But I think when there are 4 or 5 Blink Stalkers and an Immortal, you should always just focus the Immortal straight away, because all the damage gets nullified by the Blink Stalkers anyway. Certainly if the Roach count is too low, which it was.
Mutas poking around the maiden base. Haven't been able to do anything yet. Nice blink control here by Axslav. Doesn't kill anything, but does a lot of damage to 3 of those Mutas.
Another nice warp in there. Now ViBe is going to take a fight over here. I don't think this is going to be the best fight. He's going to bring in the Mutalisk as well, but this is a fight he's never going to be able to win.
Yeah, Zealot's tanking all the damage. Stalker's blinking very effectively, and Axslav actually holds easily there. He's going to get a lot of free kills as ViBe is in full retreat right now. It's 160 supply both ways, and Axslav is going to get aggressive now, Kev.
This is starting to look really good for Axslav, man. His +3 is almost ready. He's going to get a Stargate now as well. ViBe has quite a bit of money. The supplies are even, but the upgrade is so much better for Axslav. And of course, Axslav's army in general is a lot better too, with the Immortals and all the Blink Stalkers.
I mean, Axslav has been so good about this defense. I thought he was in trouble when he lost those Immortals to ViBe's first attack, but now he's looking very, very stable. Another fight here in the middle of the map, but with this many Blink Stalkers and Immortals, there's really no chance for ViBe. ViBe's just going to go ahead and max out on Roach. I kind of wish we'd seen ViBe commit more to the Mutas, Kevin, because...
Yeah, he made like 5 and then he made a few more, but it was never really an amount that's actually scary. The Muta count has to be big enough that you can't just defend with a couple of Blink Stalkers. You have to bring in most of your army. Meanwhile, X scouted this base straight away, very well done. Yeah, ViBe is probably going to be able to save it, but he's already losing so much. He lost so many drones now. He just wants to evacuate a couple of drones once more, perhaps a fight in the middle of the map, but there are so many Stalkers, man.
Yeah, Roach is going to come forward and do as much damage as they can. Nice surround here by ViBe, but does he have enough is the real question. The Immortal's taking some heavy damage, and I do think they will fall.
Wow, actually his Roach positioning is great, but now the real Blink Stalker micro is going to kick in. Well, actually those Blinks are not that good. Now he puts Blink on cooldown. Wow, that's crazy. What a turnaround.
And ViBe's going to win this fight. One thing that ViBe's been doing really well is upgrading Kev. While Axslav is ahead in upgrades, ViBe does have +2 armor and +1 attack.
Where does all these Roaches come from? That's... I don't understand.
ViBe just macroing exceptionally well. His money's so low. Axslav's money a little bit high right now as he was trying to transition into that mothership. Mortal count is really low. Roach is maybe overcommitting a bit attacking into these cannons, though.
Yeah, we have a ton of cannons over here. I'm not even sure if he really had to take this fight, but he's going to take out quite a few probes. He did still kill a lot of Stalkers, man, but it's exactly the bank that he has to worry about from Axslav. Axslav can easily renew these units.
More reinforcements streaming in now for ViBe. The last cannon in this third base is going to fall, and with it, these Roaches are going to be able to do a lot of damage to the economy of Axslav, and the reinforcing Roaches might just be too much. Axslav...
Well, a lot of Stalkers being wiped in now as well. Come on, Axslav micro a little bit, and that's exactly what he's going to try to do, but this Roach count is really, really high.
Wow, so many Roaches out. 30 Roaches, in fact, on the map right now for ViBe. He's cleaned up the entire army of Axslav.
How often do you see a Zerg switching back to Roaches against Mass Blink Stalker Immortal and somehow be able to pull it off?
Yeah, I'm really super surprised. I think we might say that Axslav controlled, not poorly, but...
Yeah, he didn't get the best out of that situation in the middle of the map, and not having a single sentry definitely hurted him. He's going to try to pick off the hive, or actually the layer over here. I think he was so worried about the brute war tech, man. He never expected him... I think he never expected ViBe to just completely go back to Roaches, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and... wow, and ViBe does a really nice job here. Kills the Cyber Core, kills that gateway, might even kill one of the upgrades. There's a Void Ray out.
This game has been nuts.
Which means that eventually these Roaches will have to leave, but it's going to be a long time.
I don't know how much these Roaches are going to kill before that one Void Ray kills all of them. He's going to bring in a couple of Zealots, he's going to bring in the Immortals as well, so there is some serious damage output, but he has to be careful, man. Nice warp in there. Ooh, well, everything dies so quick. So many Roaches.
Yeah, no, ViBe really... I thought he was in a terrible position, manages to bring it back with some good macro and some excellent positioning in that fight in the middle of the map. Well done there by ViBe. Axslav dipping down below 70 supply, has no choice but to GG. Game number 1 goes to Root. ViBe, his first win as a Root player?
Yes, that's correct.
I think it might be.
I think so too. We can take another look at that fight, but and there was one more thing which I would like to point out, but I really don't think that was going to change everything. There were a few units from Axslav on the left top side of this map harassing that expand, but still, did you expect this fight
to go the way it went? Did not look like a good fight for ViBe at all, but this is really in a sense, the strength of a good surround. Where's Axslav going to blink? Because either way, he's blinking into units, and he's always taking damage. There's never a moment when his units are completely free.
And look at the money Axslav had here right now. I would have loved to see. I mean, he could have definitely afforded a few sentries. But then again, I can't blame him that much, because I wouldn't expect my opponent, after Roach Ling aggression fails, after a Muda switch fails, I wouldn't expect my opponent to go all out on Roaches with Burrow and 1-2 upgrades. I would also think that he's going to build Spine Crawlers and he's going to get Broodlords. And I really think that that's the way that Axslav read that game. But it's crazy how it turned out.
Yeah, really, really crazy. You make a good observation about those sentries, but you just can't warp in sentries when you feel like you're going to be playing against the Broodlords.
Then we are sitting here like, why is he making sentries?
Those aren't going to help at all against.
Yeah, like, wow, he's a high-level player, but how can he do this?
And ViBe just played well and maybe won the mental chess match there. That game brought to you guys by Epson Projectors. We are going to play a very short commercial, and then we'll be back with the second game in this best-of-3 series.